What are your thoughts of the MLS All-Star game next week between the Liga MX All-Stars and the MLS All-Stars? Are you excited? Are you not excited? We talked a little bit about the feel of overkill already.
Yeah.
So
I'm not excited this year, but I was excited. I was going to go to it last year. I already was planning the whole thing around it. I was going to go there with my buddies. We're going to go to LA. It was like on a Thursday, I think. We're going to go to Tijuana, do the whole thing with it. But I'm not excited this year just because like it's overkill. I'm kind of tired of it already, like all these games. But I do think there's a cool aspect to this. I do think that, the Mexican League should be kind of proud that like the MLS and the US knows what is selling, and they've brought, Celtic over, and they've brought, Bayern Munich over, right? And they brought all these teams to try to make this an interesting MLS All-Star game. That was kind of cool for a bit because you get to see, it wasn't like who really won. It's just kind of cool to see different players all together. And then before, at the beginning of MLS was, it was like East versus West, and they did like internationals versus US born guys. They try to do everything with the All-Star game, right? They try to do everything. And I think this is funny. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably thought, okay, what if we just bring a Mexican team? And then they probably thought like, well, if we bring America, then other people are going to be alienated, not want to go, whatever it may be. You know how Mexican fans are. So I think they brought the best of both worlds, right? Like, what if we get players from Mexican League where we have players kind of representing a lot of teams come over and play? And it's kind of cool because there's so many Mexicans on the field. I mean, if you go down the roster, right, there's a couple of Mexicans on the US team. And so on the MLS team. So that's cool, man. I think it's a cool aspect. I'm more interested in watching the skills competition just because it's kind of cool just to see guys like kick the ball around outside of like, the real thing. I like to watch that. I don't know if you remember back in the day, but Luis Hernandez was like in the skill competition back in the day. And it was cool to watch that. And I don't know. It'll be cool, man. What would be cool if they brought in the shootout, instead of PKs, you go to shootouts or something. The old school shootout would be kind of cool to watch Ochoa doing that. But yeah, I'm all right, man. I guess I'll watch it. To be honest, I'd rather watch that than any MLS game. So let me know.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because, again, it's a little overkill. I've always seen these MLS All-Star games as just international friendlies, which is kind of like what they've been. Whether they brought in Chelsea, whether they brought in Bayern Munich, all these other things. It's a nice friendly for the host city to have. It's a great opportunity. You've seen teams play All-Star leagues and for European teams getting ready. I think like Arsenal has played like the Taiwan, like the Vietnamese All-Star, things like that. So
they go to Asia and do a little like combination team. Yeah.
And and these teams are in the middle of a tour usually for these things, and it's just like another game. And in general, my all-star enjoyment kind of swerves up and down for it. If I'm being honest, like NFL All-Star game, I don't get to. It's terrible.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
The NBA All-Star weekend, I like in theory, and I end up watching it because I enjoy it. But the All-Star game itself kind of is pretty bad itself.
But you like the events though, right? You like watching the 3-point. You watch a couple of those things.
Yeah.
They're
I like
fun to watch.
I like NBA's All-Star Sunday, All-Star Saturday. Yeah, right. It's fun.
Right.
I don't really like the home run derby, but I do like the pageantry of like the MLB All-Star game. Actually, is quite nice. MLS is kind of, I think, in the middle of that. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how hard they're going to play.
I think they should. Yeah, I think it's more of like it's all marketing, right? And it's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, the guys are wearing like the special jersey, and like the thing with soccer, we both know is like how many injuries can happen, especially if you play soccer the right way. So it's like, how can you play without getting injured? You really can't, because like, when you start playing soft, that's when you get injured. So like, especially like, I play keeper, for example, or you played keeper, you go in there, let's bust around. Like, it's really hard. A guy gets in the box. Like, how are you not going to come out and get the ball from him? Because if you don't, then he just is an automatic goal, So it's like, I don't know. It's like weird. I'm surprised the teams are allowing this to happen. There's got to be some kind of compensation for players that are being called to this, because like, you can't tell me that, these teams want their best players running around on this friendly that has no significance at all. Right.
Yeah, I mean, funny thing is, because it is like an all-star thing, you can only take it so seriously. The MLS has literally 10 forwards on their team. What I mean? Like,
yeah,
the idea, because you have to find the balance of the actual team, who's earned the right to actually be on it, and who, what makes logical sense when it comes to what you're actually trying to sell. And right at the end of the day, you're trying to sell a friendly in its most absurd, in its craziest showcase. So then you try to find that balance of like, all right, who have earned the right to be there, but who's also going to sell tickets and who's going to be marketable for it. You do need defenders at the end of the day because you are playing some sort of formation and it is a soccer game at some point. So you can't come out with 6-7 forwards. So, it's probably something I'm going to hit record and watch later.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's really interesting. There's a lot of guys on the MLS team that I've never heard of, and they're from other countries, which I'm like, I guess they're a big player, but I've never heard of them, which, I mean, it's not too surprised. I don't watch the MLS too much, but it is kind of cool to see that some guys are just getting called based on what they've done before in their career. I mean, let's be real. It's kind of like NBA-ish, where it's like the same guys get called over and over. Like, we get it. Like, he's the best player, but you're not giving the shot to like maybe up and coming guy that's, kind of tearing it up. That's why I don't watch the NBA one, just because it's like, man, there's no Kings players there. I'm not watching that. But like going down the list, like especially like the Mexican Liga MX team is literally based off of like, it's like a tribute team, literally. Like, what have you done in your career, and you're in. And for example, I mean, you could just say it straight off the bat with the goalies they've called up, right? Like, they call the goalies just based on who they are, and they are totally ignoring the fact that Acevedo is the hottest thing in the league. Just straight up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It just ignoring it, just straight up. Like, Tata's ignoring it. The league's ignoring it. Like, whatever. We're lucky Acevedo's not like U.S. national, because he would be asking to switch over, whatever it may be at this point. And then you got other players that are being called like from the MLS team, which played in Mexico before, which is kind of cool to see guys that have gone through Mexico, like, Celarayan, who had no chance. He never got to play in Tigres, right? Lucas Celarayan. Rui Diaz, who tore it up in Morelia, who saved them from being relegated, which is my dad's team. So I hold them close to my heart. And then just like, just looking through it, Nani, like, come on, you're not gonna tell me Nani's still an all-star in the MLS. Like, dang, like, for what he did in Man U, like how many years ago, so I don't know. It's cool. Pedro Gallese played in Veracruz. Don't forget that, the goalie from Peru, era? The Peruvian goalie. And so it's kind of cool to see all that, and obviously Chicharo got called because of marketing. We know he's been out for a little bit, but he is one of the hottest players in the league. So, it'll be kind of cool to see all these guys on the field. It's all right, man. It's a cool little event. Maybe what I would have liked it, maybe they would have changed it up and done like 7v7 or something. Like you said, there's a problem with defense. Let's go 7v7. Let's make the field smaller, or let's do something different where it's like not so traditional 11v11. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, like Santi's on the All-Star team. Santi hasn't played for Tigres yet because
Oh, something for Santos, right? He's on the All-Star based on what he did. Yeah, that's weird, man. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all like I said, I don't know who kind of made these lists. I do think the Mexican team is definitely made up of guys who've had a trajectory, who've done something in the league, like Angel Mena has torn it up. I don't know if he's like one of the best players right now. You looking at other players that I've never like really see them play too much. Sambuesa is probably at a tribute what he's done before. I mean, Sambuesa has always been kind of doing it, right? The last 10 years. So I don't know. We'll see, man. It'll be all right. Kind of cool to see them all on the field, which kind of brings us to our next topic, seeing players that like a player like, Julian Araujo, and see what he does with the switch. He's on the